Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. Welcome back. If you are returning back, if you're new, hello, welcome. My name is Jessica, and welcome to Dear Podcast, where basically this is like my diary. I come on here and I just talk about my life, what has happened, what I think would be a good, what should I call it? Lesson? Not lesson, but where we learn from each other and we can relate and feel less lonely. Let me address. I'm so congested and my dog just walked in. You can hear his steps. And I've recorded in a couple, okay. All my episodes I record in this little desk next to a window. And for I don't know which ones. Well, one of them, the last one, we'll talk about that in a second. I filmed in a different location or recorded in a different location. And then I did another one that I also did in a different location. And I realized that I think it's the window. I think because I am next to the window, I'm like getting congested. I don't know. Is that a thing? I think it is for me because I feel like it's just it's there and I hate how I sound. Like when I hear it back, I'm so annoyed. But it is what it is. Or else, let's be honest, I feel like I'm congested every single day. So it is what it is. But welcome. I feel like it's been a long time since I've just been in my regular element. Last episode I filmed over at Rocio's location where she works. If you did not listen to that one, pause and go check it out right now and then come back to this one. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, and for us that did listen to it, what a great conversation. And she is just such a beautiful person. Like, she is so easy to talk to. Her energy, I talk a lot about like the vibes of people and the vibes of, places. And she really has that just comforting type of energy that you just love to be around. Because, there's some people that are, what are they called? Vampire sucking energy people. What's it called? You know what I mean. And she's just a light, fresh air, fresh vibes, everything. So it was so nice to hang out with her and talk a little bit just about what she's done, what she's been through, because a lot of us can relate to trying to find yourself. So yeah, that was really nice. But today's episode, I've kind of just been back and forth of what I want to talk about. I feel like I've talked a lot about some of the core big areas of my life. And I'm going to be honest, I'm left a little like, what do I do now? Or what's the direction I go? But, I started this podcast so I can go about my life and everyday situations and share them so that it feels relatable. And I'm going to let go of that perfectionist side of myself, and I'm not going to have some cookie cutter type of situation to, sorry, I got distracted. I'm in a room where I hid a present for my husband. By the way, by the time this goes up, it's his birthday. Happy birthday. I love you. But I'm just realizing you can see the gift from where I'm sitting. So he's been in this room. So it makes me think he saw the gift. I don't know. Ugh, did he see it? That's why I got distracted. He probably already saw his present. Anyways, okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna, go about it. And one thing that has been kind of on my mind. Oh, baby's up. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. It's gonna get harder to keep him entertained. Because he's a lot more mobile now and he plays a lot more aggressive. So yeah, we'll figure something out and bear with me and appreciate it very much. But yeah, baby's in the background. But oh, you know what happened too? The day actually that I was recording the episode with Rocio over at her place, um, I came home and my husband, he had been playing, I thought he was playing around about cutting his hair. And I came home and he had given my baby a haircut. So yeah, that was very much not good for me. But it's not that bad. He at least did not shave him completely. Like he just gave him a little trim, so I'm okay with that. And he looks so cute. But anyways, back to what was I saying? See, I'm not as congested anymore because oops, I hit the mic because I got up from the chair next to the window. So we'll see how it progresses. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so something that's been, I guess, circling my mind lately, I'd say, is just how I've realized the importance of the little moments. And I know we hear it all the time. And if you guys already do this, great. But for me, I just started doing this and almost like appreciating and cherishing, cherish. What am I trying to say? But I have just started to really appreciate the tiny moments and how I spend my time. And in hindsight, I've realized how good it is for me because I can look back and say, wow, I've had such good couple of weeks or such good few weeks, in the last so and so. And so something I've done is I just kind of let go of a lot of things or expectations I've set for myself. Like the house needs to be clean before I can like have fun or go out or whatever. And I've dropped a lot of those expectations that I have for myself, or in some weird way, things that have been, I don't know, imprinted in my brain that this needs to happen before this. And so I leave and sometimes the house is messy. I'm like, who cares? Because right now I'd rather spend my time doing this. And especially with the sun being out a little bit more and it feels a little bit warmer, I am just, my goal is to just fill that time with enjoyable things. And if that's, going to get ice cream or walk around the town and look at all the little boutiques or whatever it is, I like doing them because then I feel so good afterwards. I'm like, we got out of the house. That was actually fun. Like I always surprise myself with, I actually enjoyed myself. And I wanted to share that just because like I feel for a long time I could say like, yeah, I'm happy. I have a happy life. But truly, I don't think it is until I started to do this, right? Like fill in my time with little adventures or exploring. And having a kid has brought that back in me because I feel like I was very much like that. And then weirdly, diabetes for me, if you don't know, I was diagnosed type 1 diabetic with type 1 diabetes 2017, 2016, can't remember. But it almost seems like after that, I lost a good part of who I was. The carefree, adventurous, almost like adrenaline seeker personality. Like that was a moment for me where it slapped me in the face and was like, no, bad things can happen to you, so let's have a ton of anxiety about everything. And that's literally what happened. Like I stopped doing a lot of things, and I talked about it in my mental health episode, how I couldn't even drive myself to my acting classes. Going to the store became like a mission. And having a baby has kind of brought that out a little bit of wanting to have adventures and exploring, because I want just looking at him, see new things, whether that's just like a tree or whatever, like that look in his face of whoa has kind of sparked it back in me that I do want to explore more and I want to have fun and I want him to enjoy it. And so we've been getting out of the house. If I have a break between meetings, I, yeah, I'll go for a walk if it's not too cold or whatever. Or like go get coffee somewhere or go get a pastry. This is a really bad one for me to like because as a diabetic, you don't want to just be having a pastry every day as an excuse to like get out of the house. But sometimes you just do what you gotta do. And so I've gone to a couple of pastries around town, and I like went to a little boutiques as well. And so I've been like doing little things, and I've lived in my town in the area for so many years, and there are so many stores, so many places that I haven't explored or didn't even know existed. And so these last few days I've reflected, and I've kind of just thought of like what has worked so well for me that I feel with less stress. I feel a lot more appreciative. I feel grateful for everything. Like those inconveniences that are actually small don't feel as big anymore for me. And I've just like, I've been having such a calm, enjoyable time. And I'm like, what has changed? And I really did think about it. And the only thing I could really find is, well, the way I'm spending my time and just filling it with little moments. And I've come to realize, it really comes down to the little tiny moments and not so much like that bigger picture of what we think happiness will look like for us, or what something brings happiness to you, because that's another thing too. Like happiness is not something you really buy. Like, it's not once I have X, Y, and Z, I'm going to be happy. It's not that at all. So just really knowing what you're looking for and what makes you have those joyful moments, that's your happy. And for a long time, I've kind of lived my life on pause, waiting for, well, until I have the house, I'm going to be happy. Until I move, I'm going to be happy. Until I have the job, I'm going to be happy. Until I have accomplished this, I'm going to be happy. Until I finish school, I'm going to be happy. And once those things are completed, I'm like, wait, it's not working. Why am I not happy? And I've come to learn through the years, like I have to create my own happy, and everybody's definition of happy is gonna be different. So going out to the boutiques and having a pastry while you shop is not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. And yeah, I've really just been feeling so good, and that's the biggest shift I've made in my life and how I spend my days, that I think really I'm going to give myself credit, and for myself, I think I cracked the code for happiness for myself. I think I'm the happiest when I accomplish things, whether, for example, today I cleaned the bathroom, and I have been trying to do that for a few days, couldn't do it. I finally did it. It felt good. I felt accomplished. And that gave me kind of like motivation and a little burst of energy to, okay, what's next? And then I know it sounds so silly, right? It's so little, but that's what I mean. Those little tiny moments, those little tiny accomplishments, those little tiny, like, just something that you're doing for yourself. Because later, you're going to look back and you're going to have a life full of those happy moments, which will then create your happy life. And I saw a quote a few months ago actually, that kind of just sat with me, and it was something along the lines of, how you live your day is how you live your life. And I was like, whoa, especially with how I talk about after the baby, time is just so different for me. It flies. He's almost gonna be one. I'm like, where the heck has time gone? And I really do start to think, whoa, my life is flashing right before my eyes. Like, what am I doing? Like, how am I going to make it memorable? And how am I going to make it a happy life? And so I think that's why that quote kind of stuck with me. And just recently I've started implementing those things. And I wanted to share that, just if you're struggling with the same ways I was, until I have this, I'm going to be happy, or until I finish this, I'm going to be happy. I think if we shift the perspective and even like embrace some of those low moments then they're not as low anymore. And then you have a better, happier, uplifting day. Like, I don't do well with clutter and having a mess. And so, with a baby, it gets messy. You're cooking, it's just, you're gonna create mess. You're living, you're gonna create a mess. And I have started to just embrace little things. If there's a mess of toys, I I play with him and I say, let's make one last big mess before we clean. And so making that fun, like we throw the balls or whatever, making that into a fun thing and not a chore thing, like, oh, I have to clean all this mess. Let's not touch anything anymore. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I've just let go of a lot of like the perfectionist template I have in my brain and how certain things need to happen before I can do whatever. And it's just been really nice. It's been really nice. And I don't feel as overwhelmed because I'm not on that fight or flight mode all the time. And sure, you're going to have stresses in your life. You're not going to have a stress free life. But I feel like because I've filled my time and my energy more in those like happy states, I don't react as harsh to those other parts of my life. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of share that because it's been something that I've been noticing, and I'm like, why am I in such a good mood lately? um, and it's been nice. It's been nice to have that different pace. So yeah, I really do think I cracked the code for happiness for myself because we're having a good time. I am, embracing things. But yeah, but it also doesn't mean that I don't have like the hard days. Like I have some, I don't know what to call it, like low days, and I just kind of sit with them. I don't fight them anymore. I don't fight to like, oh no, I don't want to be sad, so let me do this to make myself happy, because I feel like I waste more energy doing it that way. Whereas if I just like accept it, I'm like, ugh, today's a yucky day, so I'm just gonna chill out. Then I just chill out and feel better for the next time. But something I just like sparked my brain when I was talking about. See, I'm getting congested again. But something that sparked, excuse me, my brain while I was saying how I like cracked the code and I'm realizing things. I'm also realizing how many of those things come from just how I grew up, like the foundations that were built for me, if you will. Like, for example, my sister and I were actually talking about it, how we like have had to almost just dissect the negativity that we had. Like, I'm trying to put this into words that make sense, but I feel like subconsciously, like, being negative was our default. Like, for example, if, I had to do X, Y, and Z, I'd be thinking, well, I also have to do this and that, but that means I have to drive the other way and then I have to come back and do this or whatever. Or like sometimes if I wanted something, for example, ice cream. I know I always use ice cream for an example, but let's say that's what I wanted to use to eat. And if we were on the other side of town, right, and the ice cream shop is on the other side, I would be hesitant because it's inconvenient. I'm like, no, we're gonna have to drive all the other way, and like that's just too much. And my husband would always be like, who cares? Get the indie. Let's go. If we want ice cream, let's go have ice cream. Or he says this a lot. What else do you have to do? What else are you doing today? Like, let's just go. Let's just do that. And I had to think why it was so hard for me to just like be like, yeah, it's on the other side of town, but who cares? Like, we're already out and about. We don't have anything else to do. Like, why am I being so hesitant? And I think it's because the way I grew up, like I feel like that has always been the dialogue in the household I grew up. Like, it's inconvenient, or that's too hard, or You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it makes sense unless you've kind of had a similar upbringing. Um, but yeah, it's just like having conversation with certain people in my life, and then now because I'm making a shift, I'm like noticing a lot of that negativity. Like, yeah, sure, some things are gonna take more work than others, but who cares, right? Like, why not? We're not here to just have a smooth sailing life, and trust me, life is not gonna give it to you that easy. And if it does, good for you, you're lucky. But yeah, I just feel like I've had that shift in me, and I'm just so much laid back, much more laid back. I am happier, and I don't know. I don't know how else to just put it than it's working for me. So I guess here's what I'll say. If you are maybe having some heavy dense days, start with one little thing that will make it a better day. And I think that's another thing I struggle with. I don't appreciate like the little steps. I just want to take the full step and skip steps even, and that's how I'm going to, get to where I need to go. And it really is like a domino effect. And so when I talk about like the small steps, I went out on a tiny little baby walk. Like I'm talking about around the corner and back. And I just felt like I just wanted to get out and I needed fresh air. I really didn't want to do it though because it was chilly, so I had to, get the baby ready, put him in his warm clothes, put him in the baby carrier and all that stuff. And it's just, I was already not feeling it. And it was easier for me just to, maybe just lay down with him, have a nap with him. But I know that that does not help me in the long run, and I had to do things for the rest of the day. So I got him ready. I pushed through that, and we literally just walked around the corner because that's all I could handle. But coming back, I felt so accomplished and so refreshed. I was like, wait, that felt good. I did it. And I just like appreciated that because I feel like the old me would have just been like, how lame. That was such a little walk. Like, that's not even a walk because I just took 50 steps. Like, how lame. And I am starting to just give myself credit for those little tiny baby steps because they count. Because of that little tiny walk I took, I was able to come back. I finished my work for the day. I made food for the baby. Like, I literally turned my whole day around. And it was because of that. It was because I took that little, what I thought was a pathetic little walk. But that pathetic walk got me out of my head, and I felt more energized, and it was just better. So that would be my tip if you are trying to have a turnaround in your days, or you're going through something, or you're struggling. Do that. Do start small and define what brings you joy. Like, what are the little things that are going to make you giggle or make you feel even remotely positive, or even give you a little burst of energy. So that's what I've been working on, and I have seen wonderful results, and I'm gonna continue to do that. And that's that. What else did I want to talk about today? What else has been going on? Um, See, it's hard because I feel like I've had a steady few weeks. Okay, wait, another thing too. Um, I like deep down knew this, and I'm sure a lot of you do, but really don't have your happiness depend on other people, because you're going to be disappointed. They're going to let you down. And something, so what I mean by that is I feel like for a while I was dependent on somebody else making me happy, and that could look like, you know, setting up a date or whatever, and if for one reason or another like the person just couldn't do it, or something came up, then I would just be so disappointed. And it was almost like that was like the highlight of the week. And I was just waiting for that to feel that like happiness within me. But then I realized that is not at all what it should look like. And so I've done things where if you okay, so I also don't do a lot of things without people. Yeah. So like even going to the park or going to grab food, like I always just kind of want somebody there. I don't like to be alone, and I've spent a lot of time alone with the baby. And so I'm kind of always just looking forward to that other human interaction. And again, a lot of the times you just can't completely rely on that. Of course, you want to have that. And of course, it's nice to have other, people around. And you definitely should still try to do that. But I've just been, thinking I'm not going to wait for anyone to have the time to hang out, or I'm not going to wait for my husband to get out of work for me to do things. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait for none of that. So if we want to go to the park, I'm just going to go to the park. And kind of getting myself out of that mentality, I think is also a good push that I've had in the last few weeks, where I've noticed that I'm just having those more joyful moments because I'm able to get out of the house, explore. And then I also feel really proud of myself because I did it by myself. But yeah, that's kind of the whole like what should I call it? The whole exercise that I've been practicing, and it's working for me. Okay, to wrap up the cracking the code of happiness, because I feel like I'm just repeating myself and rambling on. Um, the takeaway is do the little things. Literally, like I know we hear it all the time, and we're like, yeah, but we just don't feel like it. Push yourself through those dense, heavy, non energetic moments and get yourself out there. And again, it's going to look different for everybody. Whatever brings joy to you, really fight to have that for your day. And I guarantee you're going to look at the end of the week and say, wow, like it was such a good week. I wonder why. Because that's how I started. And then you're going to think back and say, well, Monday I did that and that was so fun. Oh, Tuesday I accomplished this and that made me feel good. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and then you're going to have a week full of good memories, good accomplishments, and a lot of feel good moments. And that's where it clicked for me that that's how you create a happy life. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. But that's my tip. That's my little advice. Okay, the other point or the other thing I want to talk about. I'm also on a breaking the norm type of journey. How do I explain it? How do I describe it? I'm just no longer following like the norms or what's expected for certain things. Like for example, I know there's no rules really to like how to have your Instagram or what you should post. But for myself, like, especially being giving outfit ideas or whatever, I when was it? This past weekend, last week, I literally posted a photo of me just chilling, and I would never do that. Like it's all very structured business like, right? Like you gotta wear the outfit and find out all the details, excuse me, so you can so you can post it and all these things. And I just didn't. I was chilling and I captioned it, and I felt like it was just a good moment to share something, and I was proud that I did that. And it's not something I would have done, so that I'm just doing things that I want to do without second guessing or having my, that thought of, wait, this, I don't usually do this. Like, this is not the normal thing. Or, like I barely had makeup on. Like, it was just a very raw type of day for me. And I've also lived a lot more happier that way. I've lived, a much stress free life. And again, some of you already might live like that, but for me, it's all new because I'm like, who cares? I'm just gonna do this and I'm just gonna do that. And and some people would say like, well, you know it's a Tuesday, you're gonna go where? And, or it's windy and you're gonna go on a walk. Sure, I am, because I have a hat, I have a jacket, like, we're good. So I'm just doing those kinds of things that make me just follow my little heart and do whatever I want without having to second guess myself on that. Okay, I said my second point on today's episode, but now that I'm just thinking about it, I don't think I have a second point. I think they all just kind of meshed and melted together. So those are my thoughts for today. We're at 30 minutes, which I usually do more than that. But let's do a little life update, I guess, if you care. If not, you can click off right here. And I hope you enjoyed my little rambling on of how I cracked the code of happiness for myself. Hopefully it helps you though, because we all deserve to be happy, and you do your happy however it is, because it's not going to be the same for every single person. But life update. Let's see. Baby is so big. He is, again, a lot more mobile, vocal, so that's fun to watch. There's a trip coming up that I'm nervous about, because my husband and I are gonna be away from him, and it's gonna be the first time that we're gonna be away for a few days, and we still have a couple months, and I'm already stressed out. I'm already stressed out about the situation. I'm just like, ugh, I don't like it. But it's gonna be fun because he's gonna be with grandma, and I know he's safe and whatever, but it's gonna be hard for me. But the trip is gonna be so, so fun. It's gonna be really just a nice time to not have to worry, having the baby with us and whatnot, like truly just us. I'll post definitely some outfits on that, because I'm already preparing the juices in my brain to put some outfits together. There are some fun parties already scheduled out, so it's kind of like a work party trip. Like, the company is taking me there, so it's still somewhat, we're not working, but it's the company is gonna take me on a trip, and there are some parties planned out and whatnot. So I'm like already thinking about outfits, but yeah, that's coming up. What else? Oh, I started a little um Polaroid treasure box thing. So my dad actually gifted me a vintage, like, treasure box, and I've just been thinking, what am I gonna put in here? Initially, my sister has one, and she has like art stuff, so I thought that's great, but it just feels like it's a little, literally like a little treasure. And I've been into taking Polaroid pictures for significant things in life. Like, we went to Texas a couple of months ago. I took pictures there with the Polaroid, and I just write on them like the date, uh, where we were, what we were doing, what happened. And so I have a good chunk of Polaroids. And I've done this for a few years, and I tried to put them in like a scrapbook, but I just don't like that, because it just feels like I did something with them and then I forget about them. So this way, having them be on this little box, I've already like looked for the box so I can go into it and like see all the pictures I've taken. So try that. Maybe you'll like it. Um, what is another update? Cute baby. The baby is about to crawl, so that's exciting. He's trying to climb the chair. Um, Another update. Baby Nava is growing in sizes. Oh, he's laughing. He's smiling at us. Um, Exciting things coming for Baby Nava. I think I've been in like a rut lately. Well, for the past like year and a half with Baby Nava, because I've just, it's hard. It's hard to have a business, especially if it's not like your main source of income, which is definitely not. But I do want to put a lot more energy into it, because I believe the energy you put out is what you get back. And I am focusing on that a little bit more. So I've got new pieces coming for spring/summer. I already launched a new collection, the Dino collection. You guys, it is so It is so cute. Um, but I have more stuff that I'm gonna post in the upcoming weeks. So if you want to follow babynava.com. I also have bigger sizes going up. That has been something that's been requested for a long time, and I am finally expanding to bigger sizes. Right now we have up until 3 years old, and I do want to go all the way up to 5. Boring update, I'm also decluttering my closet. So if you guys actually want to shop, some of that stuff I'm not even kidding, I've worn probably once, or some just never. But yeah, I also want to do more, like be more conscious about where I buy my clothes, and just the fast fashion world is out of control, and so I don't want to contribute to it. I know it's going to be, impossible to not, you know, do that for me. I know it's not impossible, but I sell a lot of my stuff on Curtsy. I'll leave it on the caption on the Instagram if you want to check that out, dear_podcast. I will have some details there, but I'll also leave it on this caption for the podcast Curtsy. And you can find a lot of stuff there. A great secondhand type of shop, like thrifting basically. I also went thrifting, but I didn't find anything. So I'm doing little things that are changing my views, my perspective, my life, my whole journey. But yeah, I went thrifting hoping, because I see all these videos and these girls get like really cute stuff. Even like some of my cousins, they go to the thrift shops and they find things, and I didn't find a single thing. But yeah, decluttering my closet, just kind of like having a reset. I feel like it's gonna sound so cheesy, but I really do feel like my life is changing. I am turning it around, or a different direction, whatever that is. But yeah, what else? Is that it? I think that might be it. Sorry for like kind of an all over the place situation. There was going to be a different type of episode, but things happened and we just couldn't make it happen. And so this is kind of a last minute type of episode. I wanted to talk about this, so this is why it's not like I'm just not going to post something, or I also never want to post something just to post something. So we'll see if this is even good. Watch me not like it and not post it, because I actually did record something that I didn't like. And so I didn't post it. But anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna read our motivational star of the day. How fun was last episode's, where I forgot the little jar, but it was great that I forgot it, because Rocio had some oracle cards and I pulled some cards out for us, and it was crazy because they fit the whole episode and what we were talking about perfectly. Or maybe it's just in my head, I don't know, but I thought it fit perfectly. I was like, whoa, like that is amazing, and it was a nice little treat to finish it. But let's see what today's says. Confidence comes from discipline and training. Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if I said that right, but there you go. Build your own confidence. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Don't forget to follow us on dear_podcast. I will update and post pictures there. Babynava.com. If you want to shop some of the baby clothes, check out the new collection, the Dino collection. Cutest oversized little rompers that you'll find, in my opinion. Ugh, I'm getting so congested, stuffy. What else? And of course, follow me at justjess_G. I post anything and everything personal, really, not just fashion. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoy. Again, sorry, this is kind of like a last minute type of episode. I also want to do something, and I want to test it out and see how it works out. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably post it on Instagram first. But basically, I want you guys to nominate somebody that you want me to have a podcast with, or if you think somebody has something worth listening to, which I believe everybody has something worth listening to. So if you know somebody, or even if you are somebody, go to our Instagram. I'm going to make a little announcement on there too, so you can nominate yourself or anybody else and we can get together and record something. I loved having a conversation with Rocio. I have a couple other people in mind that I want to get with, and just spread as much awareness, message, whatever it is. But I'm happy that you guys are here and you're supporting still, and you're listening to whatever really comes out of my mouth. Like this one today was all over the place, but it's the transition. We're watching my new life unfold, my new lifestyle, my new ways. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. I was going to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.